how exciting. Did you know that a baby giraffe is 6 feet tall at birth? And it falls 6 feet down to the ground.
Playing run around the rock.
Mom's like, get over here.
It's absolutely true. The scimitar horned oryx
So much.
was hunted to extinction in its own home.
Oh, they're all doing
Look how
now.
fast they
I
are.
know. Oh my God.
Watch her gallop. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Wow.
The mom's like, oh,
And notice when they run, they run like a cheetah, or because both front feet go back and the rear feet come up on the outside of the front, and they sort of gallop like that. When they walk, notice that they walk with both right legs and both left legs at the same time.
I'm facing the wrong way on. What's that sound? That's the last thing that goes through your head.
No, you wouldn't even be that fortunate. They are silent runners. They've got a gel matrix in their foot that is like so super soft.
Is that why no sound came out of her? Yeah. That's eerie. He's just like crashing rhinos all you hear.
Oh, look, she's frisky too. Oh, good, I gotta go down there and get those guys. That looks like fun. Come in. That's amazing. What's up, ladies?
50 different species that I work with and 75 individuals. I think this is probably one of the most interesting. So earlier we played 20 questions. We're not going to play 20 questions this time, but I am going to give you 5 hints. You get 5 guesses, and if you don't guess it, you don't get to see it. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Right? Exactly. Okay, so here's your first clue. So they found fossils of this animal. The fossils were about 6 to 8 million years old. This animal has not changed appearance in 6 to 8 million years. Second clue, there's only 2 places in the world that it's endemic to. You can only find it in Australia and in New Guinea. Any clues? Any guesses so far? Nope. No, those are from the Americas. What'd you say?
Echidna?
Wow! That never happens. Get this guy a drink. That's amazing. Yes, absolutely. You do watch Wild Kratts. I have it on for my dogs. I'll admit I watch it. Do you guys know what the echidna is?
It's an egg layer.
It is. So you guys have all seen one before?
Yeah, never seen one in real life.
Well, perfect, because you're going to get to touch one now. Cool. So not only do you get to see one, but you get to touch one. So everyone else is like, what the heck's an echidna, right? So the echidna gets its name from Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, echidna was considered to be the mother of all monsters. She was part reptile, part mammal. So she was Medusa's mom. She was Cerberus's mother. So this animal, when they first found it, they weren't sure if it was a mammal or if it was a reptile. And it is the only living relative to the duck-billed platypus. What is it about the duck-billed platypus that makes it special? Egg-laying mammal, exactly. So we've always been told that's the only egg-laying mammal, but that's not true. The echidna also lays eggs. Let's see here. Are you guys a little nervous? I said you can touch it, and I have it all strapped in. You're a little nervous, aren't you? So what I'm going to do, when I bring him out, I'm just going to walk around with him first and let him smell all of you guys. And then once he's calm, I'll bring him up to the table. Then we won't need the gloves once he's calm on the table. So give me 1 second. See if I can. It's like a magic trick, isn't it? I can't help myself. I'm 12. All right, come on, buddy. I know, right? Has anyone seen Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
He was the model for the Niffler. The one that was stealing all the shiny things at the beginning. No, I forgot what I was saying. I got sidetracked. Oh, so sharks. So these guys also have electrical receptors in their nose like a shark, because when an ant walks, it produces a static charge because of its exoskeleton. He can feel 1 ant 3 feet below the ground in his nose. World's worst tickle booger, right? Oh my God. So now let's talk about his egg for a second. So their egg is about the size of a grape, And it's real soft and leathery like a reptile egg. It's not hard like a bird egg at all. That's one of the reasons they were so confused if it was a mammal or in the reptile family, because of that particular egg. In order to touch this guy, to show that you can, now that he's on the table, he'll be calmer. If you just start in the middle of the back, avoid the nose, and avoid this part right up here because that's his head and that makes him flinch as well. But if you just pet him like you would a dog or cat, not a big deal. It's not going to hurt at all. Unless you try to just touch one of these individually. That's actually how you can get poked. And if you get poked, you could lose your hand. just wanted to say that was right. I had to try. So no, but yeah, that's the big thing, is just petting him straight down the middle of the back. And the flatter your hand is, the better it's going to be.
Overflow there.
And then, so then they will all follow her, and if she steps left, they step left. If she steps right, they step right. So it looks like a train as they're walking. Well, then when it's time, she will start to dig a hole, like around a like a stump or something like that. And of course, typical guy fashion. Oh, let me do that. Let me do that. Well, she's basically tricked these 10 to 11 guys to dig a trench, and then she walks behind them, pushes them all into the trench, and then makes them sumo wrestle to see who's going to be the last one in the trench. Last one in the trench gets that big a ball.
Come here, Mom.
They all have their own pictures with their special diet in there. If one needs something extra special, ribs are for everyone. Everybody loves ribs, right? Yeah. And then over on this side we have our ribs. Huge tray of ribs for them. That looks good. We're having a barbecue. Yeah, we'll take these back up to camp. Thank you. Hard, yeah. And then we got the fire ready, so we go. Yeah. Big old cow finger bones for you. That looks pretty tasty. You can imagine easy walking around chewing one like your dog might be chewing a bone at home. Yeah, thank you. And what do you like to have on a nice hot summer day? Ice cream. Maybe a popsicle? Pop? Yeah, so here we feed our guys blood sickles. So this is the horse blood that comes from those containers. We freeze it into a nice little popsicle, and they just love us for it. That's why they don't eat us, because we are so nice to them. But you know, when you're caring for a cat, how's a good way to find out if it's healthy or not? Weigh them. Any other way you might check? Check their poop. Thank you. Nutrition, yeah, and that's all important. And you can see that from their scat. So, but when the keepers come in, they go. When the keepers come in, they go, oh, well, whose poop is whose? You know, they just see a bunch of piles laying around. So what we do when we feed them is we add a little bit of glitter. Yeah, so a little white glitter goes in one, a little red glitter goes in the other. So tomorrow morning when the keepers come, they go, oh, here's the red glitter. Well, from the notes I see that was Mina's dinner, so that's a great way for them to do it. It's completely harmless to the animal. We can actually consume glitter. It's not probably advisable, but small amounts, they just sprinkle it barely in there. So we teach them their names, to go down, to sit, target. That means if I'm holding a target or something that we're using to train, if I'm holding that, the lion will come over and put his nose right there to the target. That way you know where the dangerous part of the lion is if you have to do anything else. Recall, not exactly what that is, but open mouth crate, bench. Crate is the packing crate we've seen out there. Bench squeeze, back up, tactile hip, blood draw, and present paw. Yeah. So when our lion keepers, it sounds glamorous to keep lions because wow, how cool is that? Did you know I always wanted to get my hand licked by a lion? Wouldn't that be awesome? But you know, the papillae on their tongue are so stiff, they actually come up off the tongue and make a 90-degree angle rearward. So they make little hooks. They can actually rasp meat off of the bones just by licking it. So if one licked your hand, you might lose the first couple of layers of skin there. Anyway, the keepers here, for every 1 minute they spend with the lions, they come in here and spend 5 minutes documenting everything on the computer, so the next person that comes in knows everything that happened that day down to the minute. So there's so much detail and documentation that goes with keeping large, animals that hopefully that doesn't, take all the fun out of it for you.
Oh yeah, that's why it's always funny though to watch that. Because he's just more feisty. He's just like retired. He's like one. But when they come out, like he'll mark and then he'll just like these guys yesterday were like when they come out, they're like on.
You just trust that. This looks cheap. Look, it's not like that thing.
It's just trash.
Oh, there's the other one. It's coming right now. They look so angry.
She smells something over there. I mean, think of how much more sensitive their scent is compared to ours. I mean, look at those eyes. So she definitely probably smells. Yeah. Well, whatever was in the trash.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, you guys come into this room over here. Well, these guys come over here. And they probably have to come out here and clean. Release them all out.
Like a real cat, huh?
He's like, put it in my mouth. Put it in my mouth.
That's cool. Oh, he's so pretty. Like the other one. She's like, what are you doing?
You can smell the coffee in it.
Probably not true.
She said there's vents there. Bring odors in.
Oh wow.
Yep.
old. They're both brothers, and they're in a litter of 6. The other 4 already at the breeding facility, because by the time you're 2, they show signs of independence enough to say, that's it, you want your own place, your own apartment. Love it. That's your face. That's it. I knew if I waited long enough, I'd outwait you. Now you're cruising, because you're waiting for the keeper to bring you chow, and he or she is late. You know the drill. Oh, the keepers are behind me. I'm stalling. Ooh. They're not, well, let's put it this way. What they are is rather unique. Not because of the neck, because they live in a desert. Do you think extra skin that's like flapping around would be like a shirt that's loose and cool you off? Yeah, it is. It's like a radiator on a car, if you will. Gives you some kind of smooth way to handle heat. So they can handle heat. Oh my goodness, they need. Yeah, da-da-da-da, ooh, little attitude. She's winning. You know, it says, don't mess with my friend. You ain't seen nothing. On The Bachelor, that's nothing. They set up the rules. Hi. Sorry, you're outnumbered. Walk away. You smart. Really? And she looks delicate. Yeah. About 2 months old. Maternity yard like this is good because moms need to bond with their babies, as you well know, and they need extra pampering, a little extra food, hay and oats and alfalfa. When the curators and keepers decide time to go to join the rest of the tower of giraffe, they'll let them both loose, and that day I hope I'm here to see. They follow each other, but they're thinner hooves than horses, kind of skinnier, so they can maneuver through these harder and less accessible terrain. Look at the sun bouncing off that color. Boy, that's nature's palette.
Oh yeah, he's getting that scent all over. So not only is he gonna be roaring, God bless you. But whenever, if you ever see him get up in the tree, scratch their claws at anything, they also have scent glands on their paws.
He's like,
What does this get used, bud?
hey.
He's so cute.
I know, it's nice.